Oh, there we go.
There we go.
There's oh, hey, we found some Sega. Found some text I can read in cooperation with Compile. I had to say that. I love this opening, even though the sound is glitchy as fuck on the emulator.
Might have to turn this down. There we go. It's gonna get turned down mid-recording, but that's absolutely fine.
I think it's gonna get turned down for what?
Oh, I love this design.
The design is so cool.
I love him and his outfit. And I wish this was an actual freaking anime, because look at this. Imagine watching an anime and saying it looks like this.
Hell yeah.
I would be thrilled.
I want him to make Puyon version Satan in Puyo Quest.
Yeah.
Because they did make this game. As you saw.
And they've done a lot of other Beyond Ultimate. They did recently do Math Satan, and they've done Sun. So hopefully.
Yeah.
I love that. I have Discord's cutting you out pretty bad.
Oh, that's low.
I love that 2-second clip though of all trying to have breakfast, because it very, very quickly establishes she is terrible at cooking. You know, if I saw a circus and was full of familiar faces, I don't think I would go to it. I would think, wow, I'm irritated with those people and I don't want to go.
You don't know what this was there. He just sort of hung around at the back.
Yeah. Because he's an orc. Like you.
How dare you?
Harsh.
Oh, time for anorexic Piero.
Yeah.
You could hold her waist in one hand.
And Carbuncle's Pac-Man impression.
Small carbuncle superiority.
I do like that Yon Arl has carbuncle holders on her shoulders.
Yes.
I also like how this.
Perfect place for him to sit.
This is the design that essentially is kept for the Sega, just simplified.
Yeah. I was gonna say something else. What the heck was it?
That you're a nerd.
You're a nerd.
And you're the one that said you're a nerd.
Nope.
Oh, look at that nice frame.
アルルとカーバンクルがテントに到着すると、ファンファーレが鳴り響きます。
Where the subtitles at?
いよいよサーカスの始まりです。団長の挨拶が終わり、空中ブランコ、玉乗り、井の輪くぐりと
So the story here is Satan puts on a circus and disappears Carbuncle, and that's it, basically.
It's super cute from the back. It's like one of those marshmallow bunnies.
Loaf.
He puts a whole ass circus. That's a lot to wear. Imagine that.
Also, for anyone watching this that doesn't know, if you want a translation of this game, Precise Museum has a subtitled version on their YouTube, but you can't download it. Like you would ever want to actually play this game. It's hard as fuck.
As we go through each character, I'll tell you how many times they killed me.
Yeah.
Because this only shows the successful attempts. Because otherwise we would be here far longer than an hour and 14 minutes.
Yeah. Also, the thing that gets me about this freaking game, well, there's two things that get me. And the other one is probably an inevitable rant. But this one is just a minor nitpick. So if you do really, really well in Puyo, you get Math Satan, right?
Yeah.
But then in this game, and Puyo Box, and Chaotic Final Exam, Mado Monogatari Chaotic Final Exam, all of those feature Satan with a mask, and 2 of them feature Satan with the exact same mask that doesn't cover his entire face. And all is fooled every single time, despite not being fooled in Puyo's suit.
Yeah.
He just gained dumb bitch disease.
And also, I like some of the Madara characters, and I dislike most of them. But pretty consistently seems like she dislikes them.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Guys, Skeleton T is Escargoon.
Well, take that back. Escargoon is fun to watch.
No, his voice actor. He sounds very much like him.
AU where instead of Skeleton T, we just get Escargoon the entire time.
I would
Also,
prefer
take that back. I would like to not be cursed.
No.
I don't want to think about this.
You're gonna have to live with it.
Guess how many times Skeleton T killed me, by the way?
Once.
Once.
One.
Haha, one!
Literally the first time I played it, he killed me because I just literally was so taken aback by how slippery the controls were.
I think I also commented on the controls being something when I played this. I've played this once and I beat it once, and that's all that's really needed. I will never do it again. Unless I decide to put it on my channel, but I might just redirect to this video instead. Man, I'm hungry.
Going to get me to play this game.
I forgot that I had a all clear saved, so I immediately give him a rock clear.
You're never gonna get me to play this game.
Discord does not want you to talk.
He said we're never going to get him to play this game.
Okay. That is absolutely fair. We play this game so nobody else has to.
Yep.
Same thing I tried to tell myself whenever I played Sorcery Saga.
There was 2 things I was told about this game way back when. So I've had like I had a Puyo fixation for like 4 years, dropped off for like a year or 2, and now I'm back in it. I was told 2 things 4 years ago, and one of them was that this game, don't play it. Don't play this game. It's hard, it's unfair, don't play it. And because the other thing that I was told was flat out misinformation, I just decided that I was probably going to be fine playing this game because I played all the other games and stuff, and I was wrong. I was wrong. But I did it anyway because, I don't know, I like suffering, I guess.
Yeah, that's also the reason I tell myself when I record.
Yeah. Sorcery Saga likes making people suffer.
It's its fetish. It gets off on torture.
Oh dear. I know this is automatically a successful attempt, but oh dear.
And catch me struggling as I just pray for a green Puyo.
Yeah, I was about to say, would you like a green?
No, actually.
How dare you?
Ended
You
off
should
with
always-
complete hellfire. And then I realized, oh wait, she's still alive for a bit. Wait, is Archer the girl?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I'm pretty sure anyway.
She can be a girl if she wants to.
Yes, she
Yes.
can. Hello, Kikimura.
Yeah. Anyways, I do really like the art in this game, and one of my favorite things is the little chibis
Yes.
that fight each other. Like, I don't think there's any other Puyo game that so clearly demonstrates that it's a mage battle.
Yeah, I wish it would return.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Of Tetris 2's animations.
Yes. Tetris 2 I can't
On
talk.
track.
Like, Tetris 2's animations are definitely the best in the series so far.
Well, that does make sense. They've been steadily improving.
Yeah. And then there's so many people who want to just discount entirely because, oh boy, they didn't come out with the 30th anniversary game in the middle of the fucking pandemic, but what can you do?
These are the same people that want a Pokemon game every year on the dot. Oh wait!
Yep.
I don't want to open that can of worms, but I'm feeling pretty fucking wormy.
Also, if I'm not mistaken, I think Arla uses both of her, costless spells and then Diacute, which is pretty darn fitting. So for anyone who doesn't know, you know, like anyone who hasn't played a Madao Monogatari game, generally Fire and Ice Storm, or in the original Madao Monogatari, Fire and Ice, are spells that don't use any MP, so you can just use them however much you want, whenever you want. And that's how you get through those games without dying.
Yikes.
But you still can't use them if you run out of MP for some reason.
I think that was either just the one entry, which is Madao Monogatari ARS,
Yeah.
or it was who the heck is who was glitching?
Sounds like Proto.
Proto, are you glitching?
Proto, you have turned into a bag of crisps. Oh no, that's our audio playing through Proto's, because I can hear my voice quite clearly.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Hey Proto, I'm muting you. Tell me when you're. Oh, he's gone. Never mind.
Yeah, we lost our boy.
Goodbye, Proto. You shall be missed.
Yeah. Oh, Madao Monogatari. What was I saying?
She's saying that it's hot.
Now, what was I saying? Yeah, Madao Monogatari ARS. It was either that you indeed can't use those spells when you don't have any MP, or it was the fact that the spell list changes depending on what your most used spell is or last recently used spell is. So if you can't read, you very quickly lose track of which spells are which.
Yeah.
So it's entirely possible that my perception of that game was user error.
Yeah.
But we won't
Honestly,
know.
even as someone who can read, I would probably still accidentally use the wrong spell because you just don't expect it.
Yeah, and then he had a couple of misclicks. Not nearly as bad as I did, though.
Man, that was awkward.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Awkward.
Welcome back, bag of crisps.
That, not me.
I don't know why I'm calling you a bag of crisps. I'm not British, I'm Australian. We call them chips.
Australians are the correct people.
And again, we also call the hot ones chips.
Hot ones.
Oh.
Fries?
Fries? Okay.
We call them
Yeah,
chips.
that was gonna be my guess.
Yeah.
Never mind. That clearly needs to be burned to the ground.
No, mind you, we only call the really thick ones chips. The thin ones are still fries.
Okay.
I don't.
It's all over the
I
place.
don't find the difference. Can I toss a boy? I don't know. He was so super, and now I'm just annoyed. That's what this game has done to me.
Jesus
By
Christ.
the way, for anyone watching, I missed drop step. But also, this game, every single level has a different gimmick. For this one, the gimmick is that every single thing of Puyo drops one row at a time, I believe. So I can hit him with a rock Puyo and it'll keep going down one line at a time. Which is why he's taking so long to die.
Isn't this game fun and rewarding?
No.
Watch me get an all clear final thing.
I mean, the best part of this game is that one of the modes, and this is the only reason you should play this game, one of the modes lets you pop Puyo and it creates little Puyo pastries that Carbuncle gets to eat, and it's extremely cute. And you get a massive Carbuncle sitting on the shelf next to you. It is adorable.
I did not record that mode, I'm sorry.
Well, I guess that will be what I put on my channel.
Perfect.
Oh, we got one of the best girls. I will not accept criticism. Listen, we all have different tastes in women, and mine are draconic, fighty, and have big hearts.
Big hearts.
Yes.
And
Also
love
big
of meat.
You say that, but she doesn't have any in this game.
What do you mean? They're right there.
Yeah, she got some titties.
Well, now it's covered.
Like, yeah, but
Censorship with an arm.
Draco is currently talking about how she wants to join a beauty contest, and she is not listening to Arl at all.
Yeah, that's Draco in a nutshell in Compile era.
I forgot what the gimmick is for this level.
It's the gimmicks don't change until the environment changes.
Ah, yes.
Also, for some reason, I think Jacko is just like very EP in PO games now. Like she's just got an obsession with eating.
well, I mean,
To be fair, I'm also constantly hungry.
well, you're also constantly, like, literally starving.
Yes.
I'm sure Draco could get food very easily. Take that help.
I take that to
well,
believe
no.
that she just steals it. That's not how I
Okay.
speak. But I do it anyway. Draco Burning, however you pronounce that, is a attack that will... what's the word? It gets rid of the Puyo on your board that has the most amount of it on the screen. This includes nuisance Puyo.
Oh yeah, and one of the features of this game is that when you're using supers, there's a chance there's like two different supers you can use depending on the character. And as far as I'm concerned, there's no way to control which one you use.
Mm-hmm.
It is really irritating when you're trying to go for one specific effect and it decides to go with the other one.
Yeah, well, you know, that's Compile. The Compile fans are gonna be very angry. But
Listen, I'm angry at the Compile fans, so if they want to have a fight, I will give them one.
The Compile fans, all what? 2 of them?
Basically the entire Western fandom is a compile fandom in my experience.
Yeah.
Like, obviously there's exceptions, but the big ones tend to be compile fans.
Yes, and the exceptions are all people who have joined from Puyo Puyo Tetris.
Yes. And have not played for Saga before.
Yeah.
Draco's taking so long to die because the Puyo only drop one by one.
Yep.
But she's dead now. Well, she's not dead, she's actually going to be coming with us.
My brain added so she's dead, which is very rude.
I mean, she does die, but that's later on.
Christ.
This is
You see her die on screen, it's fun!
I am very partial to these designs.
I really like this Draco design.
Yes. Oh, this game is really good. I wish everything else would be better.
Though Satan's big pants are kind of weird. They work on Draco, but...
I'm good with Satan's big pants. I will slap them.
Draco Centauros has joined your party. You can now use the special move Draco Burning.
Nice. Do you guys ever do that with like fully clothing? Like you just grab Parva and just slap?
Yeah.
I do that whenever I'm in a skirt. Which is not very often, mind you, because I hate wearing skirts, but...
So you're like Meta Knight in Brawl whenever he uses his tongue.
Yes.
Arl's having a moment.
In case anyone's wondering, the skirt dislike is because I get friction burns.
Ah, yes.
It's not fun. Also, I hate this man.
No ho ho. He killed me at least once.
Killed me like 50 times.
He is pretty difficult. He killed me once, and then I accidentally pressed load instead of save, so I had to fight him a second time.
Yeah.
Yeah, frog stacking is my fucking weakness.
Why does this dude sound like DDD?
He kinda looks like DDD.
I'm wondering if it might partially be that, because the audio is so quiet.
Yeah, sorry, I had to turn down the audio for balancing reasons.
Yeah, that's fine.
Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to balance on the road.
This stage is fun. It's all point Puyo.
Which is like Sun Puyo, but worse.
Yeah, because in Puyo Sun, you don't drop exclusively Sun Puyo, which means your opponent won't just kill you automatically, unlike in this game where you're screwed. How did I do it like that?
The thing... I have no idea. The thing about Sun Puyo is that you don't drop it at all. It
Yeah, exactly.
drops it as a reward.
I would have gotten an all clear there, except he's decided to screw me over. And I proceeded to screw myself over more because I don't think while I'm playing Puyo, don't mind me.
Yeah. This kind of stuff is why I stopped doing live commentary for my Puyo videos, because I just cannot play and talk at the same time.
Yeah. But I went for a big chain there because otherwise he just would have kept getting point Puyo and would have killed me.
Yeah.
I can do live.
Pardon?
I can do live commentary to an extent.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can do it with like other games where I don't have to concentrate as much. But I think the Madao/Puyo series is gonna be exclusively post-commentary.
I could do live commentary for the first part of Tetris and Tetris 2, but not Saturn.
Yeah.
No, why do I keep calling it Saturn? It's Puyon. It's on the Sega Saturn, but it is Puyon.
Yeah.
You'd rather be playing that.
I really like this fade into the mermaid tail. It looks very
Yes.
pretty.
Also,
Yes.
Subibi here is talking about how we totally won her for her mermaid meat.
Just phrasing.
Yeah, I'm not gonna rephrase that. Mermaid meat. Also, poll time. Cyrilli or Subibi?
I like Cyrilli, but I could go either way, to be honest.
You go either way with Cyrilli, huh?
With the mermaid meat.
No.
I'm joking. Yeah, I keep accidentally just calling her Subibi, just like,
I mean, it's
offhand.
what we...
yeah, it's what we
That's
used to
what-
call her, so.
Yeah.
Cyrilli rolls off the tongue better,
Yeah.
but so does Lagnus, so we're kind of at a catch-22.
And then there's the
Yeah.
Ryder
I
Liddell
still-
debate.
Yeah, so Nenny discussed this at length. It
Yeah.
was never Ryder, it was always Liddell. The translators of Puyo Fever 1 were asleep at the fucking wheel.
Yeah, no, I agree. When you, like, kind of get a grasp on how Japanese transliteration works from English, you can pretty easily tell that Rideru was meant to be Liddell. But that doesn't stop me from thinking that Ryder is an extremely cute name.
It is an extremely. I'm just frustrated because seeing mistranslations and all of the stupid stuff that cause stupid things within the fandom frustrate me.
Yeah.
Like the idea that Amity was canonically sassy and violent.
Yeah, no, clumsy at worst, not violent.
That one's
Yeah.
still bro. Oh, doesn't it?
Yes.
Because I know exactly who you're talking about when you vague, with your vaguing like that.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't know if that will ever not bother me.
Also, by the way, my weird chaining in that stage was because the gimmick is that when you drop your Puyo and gravity has to pull it down, it takes forever. It's like it's falling through water. So I was trying to avoid that as much as possible.
Yeah, I tend to speed drop my Puyos regardless because you get really well trained by other Puyo games.
Oh,
to do
no, it's not
that.
about speed dropping, it's about if one falls off the edge of like a stack, it takes forever to fall down.
Do you think if you hard drop a Puyo like fast enough, it'll splash like a horse?
Excuse me, did you say horse?
Yeah.
I love that. Maybe. So, for context, I read a Tumblr post once that basically, if you drop an ant from a certain height, they will be fine. You drop a human from the same height, they will break bones. You drop a horse from the same height, it will splash.
It's
And
called,
that's how-
what's the formula for that? It's something about mass and acceleration and gravity.
Horse times acceleration.
Something like that.
Something
I
like
didn't
that.
do physics in high school. Studying law, not math.
I think it's terminal velocity, maybe?
Maybe. Yeah, that makes sense. Terminal velocity is the highest speed that you can get for your mass.
That's my favorite Sonic level.
And now it's time for the... I was gonna call it an F word that's not fish, but this guy killed me like 5 times.
Yeah,
Partially because
yeah.
I thought that he still had Siriri's gimmick.
Yeah, I got walled into this asshole.
Also, he sounds
Listen,
nothing like he does in later games.
Yeah. I kind of like him in Sega games. I really don't like him in Compile ones. He is...
Skatadora, please get your... So Discord just died. What a lovely, lovely thing to have in stream. We're not stopping the video. I'm sorry, we're just gonna have to live with this. Hi!
Hi.
We're having some difficulty.
Yes, indeed. As I was about to say, Skatadara, get your feet out of our face.
Yeah, you need to put the stream back on.
Oh, damn, the stream. You are going to suffer because I said that I'm not pausing the stream because otherwise it's gonna just mess up the whole syncing.
It's alright. It's just I can't say his name. It's just Dance Fish, so I don't think we missed much.
You missed him being a nice guy.
Like TM or actually?
TM, as in he got all fussy when Severi called him his friend instead of boyfriend.
Fuck. Thanks, dude.
Also, I'm stacking like this because his actual gimmick is power is determined by height. I get ×2 when I get up there.
I wonder if other people get as frustrated with misinformation as I do. I feel like I've taken it very personally, but it feels personal. Because it's not like I just sat there and passively absorbed information like I normally do. In which case, I could probably just be like, well, that's unfortunate, glad I know now. I have people directly telling me things. I have people coming and correcting my misconceptions. I was actively part of discussions. So it does feel very personal.
Yeah, that makes
I was
sense.
told the wrong stuff.
Oh no.
Oh, my favorite.
Hello, Harvey.
There she is. But at least she looks cute.
He is very cute.
Very.
Now her wings look less like wings and more like, you know, like the kind of wings that children put on when they're doing nativity scene plays.
When what?
Nativity plays? Is that just a Catholic thing? Jesus?
It's not helping that Discord is like muffling your words really bad.
It's
So
like
I don't know what you're saying.
the birth of Jesus.
Okay.
Kids put on plays about it, where they reenact it, and there's usually kids dressed as angels.
I was one of the 3 wise men.
I have never done that play. Or maybe I did. I was part of a play, but there was a framing device of... You know what, actually, I'm gonna shut up because that is extremely... Like, somebody might be able to recognize me from that.
Oh, fair enough. But yeah, no, nativity plays were extremely common where I'm from. Like, I don't even think, that my kindergarten was Catholic, but I still did a nativity scene play.
Yeah.
And I did it every year in primary school, because they were definitely Catholic. What's the gimmick in this level? I don't remember.
It's still the point gimmick, I think.
The gimmick is
yeah. The, multiplier.
Okay.
The
gimmick is that Harpy stacking.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah. always get kind of, I always feel kind of awkward when I rant about the misinformation, because I know it's stressing me out probably way more than literally anybody else. But it does stress me. I do like learning, though. I like learning new things.
Learning is fun.
Yes. And here's my least favorite character.
Yeah, you're not gonna like her in this game because she sees Curly and Draco and immediately goes, "Oh, potion ingredients."
Ugh.
Oh, I'm
I
so
hate
glad
the fact that she's wearing green too. That is my favorite color. It's not allowed. It needs to change.
I love it.
I don't.
Don't worry, Witch.
Also, she has like a mild science theme to her in this one, which is really cool, and it makes me even more mad. So close, and yet her personality is still the worst.
Her room
I
with
know
a little
she's like-
bounce.
Yeah. I know she's like really popular in the fandom, and I don't see the appeal.
Most of it's probably just her being cute looking.
Probably.
It sounded like a phone ringing.
Especially... It did.
Yeah, she has a star jingle thing.
That's very bothersome. Like, particularly back when, like, everybody was a mook, like an actual freaking mook that you would just run into and murder. You basically couldn't rate them on anything other than cuteness because they wouldn't really have personalities outside of, you know, the one-off gimmicks. And then in most Puyo games, you only get a one-off gimmick because there weren't really any stories until Sega took over. Like, obviously this is the story, but it's still not much of one. It's mostly just basic character interactions. With in this game, the big gimmick is that Arl gets progressively meaner. I feel like she isn't as mean as, I don't want to say advertised exactly, but like I was told she gets really, really terrible. And I will admit to not watching the video super closely that translated all this. But I don't think I've seen Arl get as bad as people have told me she gets.
Yeah, she seems pretty reasonable so far. I mean, she's been a bit rude, but not exactly mean. From what I can tell.
Where Arl gets mean, really.
She's kind of mean to Satan, but I think at that point she's kind of stressed about losing Carbuncle, so I can kind of understand it.
Yeah.
I still feel bad for Satan, but I totally get it.
Yeah.
I think the most mean thing she has done is raid Shezo's house in Puyo Box.
Yeah. She's kind of mean to Shezo here too, I think. But that's been the running gag in compile games, so. Which has joined your party, now you can use Falling Star.
Puyo Box is still like my favorite freaking thing. Break
They really
into
also
Shezo's
ruin
house
everybody.
and steal all of his worldly possessions.
Yeah, except for his clothes.
Except for his clothes, because they're too big for you. Explicitly because they're too big, and not because they're his clothing, and stealing is kind of mean.
Dragon killed me about 5 times.
Dude, that's 9.
And
Is that not the one?
which wants his scales.
Of course she does.
Well, I assume that's what Hanamisu means.
I had a peanut shell inside my pajama pants. That was weird. It was just scraping against my knee, and I'm like, what the fuck is stuck in my pants that is scraping against my knee? And it's a peanut shell.
Delicious.
Indeed.
You got some nuts on your knee.
Aw. Pet the baby.
Don't pet the baby.
Okay. Apparently don't pet.
baby's angry.
Yep.
So angry that he killed me multiple times. And I don't know why I chose to play as Cerebi instead of Draco as my partner. I don't know what Cerebi does.
I don't know.
I think I just got sick of dying on Draco, so I was trying anything, and this just happened to be the one time I won.
Yeah, I don't remember at the moment. Also, it's very, very unfortunate that he is such an Angie baby, because he is extremely cute. Look at that. I like Dragon, but I don't understand Dragon. Like, I feel like he's around, but not that around. I was surprised to find out kind of recently that he is in Puyo as one of the bosses you get if you get stuck on a floor. It is ridiculously difficult to get stuck on a floor. Up until like the last couple of stages, where it's almost inevitable.
Yeah. Meanwhile, in Xenoblade, a gentle mother saw me and was like, "This bitch needs to die."
Also, the gimmick in Dragon's stage was that you were meant to dig down to the bottom to get to the point, Puyo. I managed to kill him just through the power of force alone.
Always fun.
Thank you.
Hello, Chico, who I keep calling Chico.
Hello, girl that's delegated to quest only.
Yeah.
Hello, person that looks very much like Liddell.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
She's kind of cute. I just don't know anything about her. She seems kind of generic.
Yeah, that's most of the compiled characters, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, Witch is pretty distinct, but that doesn't mean she's fun.
Judging from Sorcery Saga, generic-ass characters is just a problem Compile has.
Yeah. Anyway, second verse, same as the first. This one also has point Puyo, except they hit harder.
Yep.
How many times did Chico kill me? Can't remember. I swear I don't do that on purpose.
The stomach's confirmed after mentioning it, though.
Six chain, hell yeah.
You also drop hard Puyo, it seems.
Oh yeah.
Is she even die cute?
That's what I kept thinking.
If she is, that is really fucking weird, because Dia cute is not that kind of spell.
Well, BioWare.
I think she's saying Gaia something.
I hope so.
It's just really hard to hear.
A screen nuke, except for in 7. So.
Yeah, that's also very weird. I don't know why they did that.
Because compile.
Indeed.
I'm stacking very dangerously here. Remember, kids, don't stack in your middle rows because that's dangerous.
Yeah. Itchy, itchy, itchy.
We call that pep stacking.
You should call it subby stacking because I do that when I panic.
Sub-pep.
And then I die.
Call it dork stacking.
Yeah.
Yes. The most accurate name.
Here's Draco Burning getting rid of all the nuisance Puyo.
Yep.
Well, you're getting a lot of good use out of Draco.
Yeah.
I think she's probably like the best partner in the game just because she's probably the most reliable.
Yeah, she most consistently gets rid of the Puyo. Like, you can kind of look at the screen and tell which Puyo she's gonna get rid of.
Yeah.
One thing about the systems of the time is this is when the songs in games had no way of looping, or very little ways of looping.
Yeah,
So they just
the songs in Yon are really good, but also too short for the matches.
Yes.
Yeah.
This match
Which is
in particular goes on for a very long time.
It's very ironic because more often than not, the opposite problem is true for the Sega games, because matches either end quickly on your end or on the opponent's end.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot easier to kill people.
Indeed. It's also a lot easier to die.
True. Although I think it's pretty easy to die in Compile Era. It's a lot harder to win.
Oh yeah. And that's why Compile Era's gone.
I'm pretty sure Compile Era is gone because they sold to Sega, but sure.
Well, I mean, Compile Era, the era of Compile being a thing is, you know, it's...
I won despite chance. Like, literally, if she had moved her Puyo to the side, she would have kept going.
Yep.
One thing I really dislike about this game, your Puyo appears so high up on the screen, you can only see the bottom one, and you can't see the other one until you rotate it. Which is annoying when you have ADHD like me and immediately forget what the next color Puyos were.
Yeah.
So if you see me rotating the Puyo at the top of the screen, you know why.
Right. I do like the experimentation in this game. I like the fact that Puyo did and does experiments. But you know, the fun thing about experiments is sometimes they go horribly wrong. And you get an extremely unfair game.
Yeah, and then Mewtwo appears and then destroys the entire facility.
We dreamed of creating the world's strongest Pokemon, and we succeeded. Or should I have said the strongest Puyo game?
They sound similar enough. Also, I don't know why Chico joined us, but Shizzo!
And without his
Very-
dirty...
He cut off, so all I heard was, without his dirty. I'm like, sure.
underwear.
I love how his sword looks in this, like, looks like it's made out of crystal, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
I also love his baby face.
I love his hair. I prefer to draw Yon hair compared to other hair when I'm drawing Shizzo.
He looks super cute.
He does.
Also, I have no idea why, this is just recurring elements in his poses. He has a tendency to hold the blade of his sword like that, and it's like, blade, don't handle the blade of your sword, or you're going to cut your hand.
I mean, it depends on...
Also, Shizzo did kill me a couple times.
Yeah.
And also, every battle from here on out is going to have very tinny music. Up until the final boss. Because something screwed up with OBS. I don't know. But I did fix the cutscenes. The cutscenes also had that problem, but thankfully this game has a Manzai theater, so I was able to fix that.
Which is very...
because replaying this game is not a realistic option.
Yeah, no, I was.
You
There's
beat
no
the
level
ones for the
select, so I would have to
right?
play the entire thing over again.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess technically, I could play them in this, like, custom game mode, right?
Yeah.
I think that they keep the same rule set, but I'm not sure they keep the, partners.
You definitely don't. It doesn't keep the partners. But interestingly, it does. They do just use the areas that they appear in the game. You don't get to choose, which is weird. Kind of neat and kind of super weird. Does anyone else just randomly want to think about Resident Evil all of a sudden?
No, I think true.
So it's just me? I'm just weird?
Yeah, I think it's just you.
You're pretty
Good to
weird.
know. Thanks, Psyche.
Oh, you're welcome.
Boy swinging his sword over there, very desperately.
And he's dead.
Goodbye, boy. You will be missed.
That's what happens when you only have one arm to do anything with because the other one's under your long ass cape.
Listen, he has to look cool. Sing Here Comes the Boy at Chezo's to confuse him. And now he's talking in angelic. It's gonna make sense to no one but us.
We left the boy broken and alone. Oh, hello, Vulu.
Yep. Hello, Rulu, and your apparent lack of underwear.
Glad we had the exact same report.
Both of you. Or yeah.
I mean, maybe it's just high-strung and right under the belt, but from the way she's drawn, it doesn't look like she's wearing any.
Yeah, that's basically it.
How many times did Vulu kill you?
Too many times, to be honest. Like, everybody started killing me too many times at this point. I would get walled at every new opponent.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the other person we talked to said that Vulu killed them way too many times as well. This was first try.
Nice.
Mind you,
Dare you?
had I not known the gimmick of this stage, I would absolutely have died many times.
I don't remember the gimmick of this thing.
Honestly, I think it's just, the points thing again. But also, Vulu's gimmick is that she just straight up gets rid of all her nuisance Puyo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why you see me climbing all the way to the top and trying to give her as big amount of
Is she the
Puyo
one-
as possible.
Is she the one that can flip her entire fucking board?
Yep, that's her.
Ooh, sounds very interesting with this effect.
I think it's also a Puyo drop one row at a time board, which means she gets plenty of opportunity to flip her entire board.
There she goes.
Green.
Yeah.
But I had done a 6 chain on her, so she's dead. You just have to listen to her screaming many times. I believe because of the gimmick, you never actually hear her heavy damage voice line. It's always her low damage voice line.
Indeed.
I want to hear her. I want to hear her heavy voice line.
Alright, Minotauros, calm down.
Shut up.
No.
I feel like we're gonna get canceled after the comment about Lulu's attire.
I mean,
But, like,
We're not
why would
saying.
they draw her like that?
Listen, Rulu's 18. We can point out her clear design choices.
and she can also wear.
Also, Rulu having her hair up like this is really cute. She doesn't do that very
cute.
often.
In the Waku Waku Puyo Puyo Dungeon manga, she has many a cute hairstyle, and I love it.
Yeah, although it looks very strange in that art style.
Yeah, they give her twin drills at one point. It's very amusing. Everyone's giving their reasons for going. Draco says she wants to go to a beauty contest. I have no idea what Chico's deal is. Don't know what Witch is doing, which is probably winning potions. And Saruri's just wanting not to be left behind.
She really just wants to be included.
Please let me go with you. I don't want to be stuck with a simp.
Okay, here's a theory. What if those little... Wait.
This is the Satan cutscene, so we're gonna watch it.
ようこそ我がサーカスへ。
小さい。ってことはまた君の仕業か。
カーバンクルちゃん。
ちょっとなんか様子が変じゃありません？あのカーバンクル人形ですわよ。それどころか。
Witch just said that Carbuncle looks weird because it's a plush. Yeah.
Indeed.
うちのカー君はどこ？
なんだお前たち。私のカーバンクルちゃんを奪いに来たのか。しかも仲間を連れてくるとは。愚か者め。
And they're dead.
Fucking rip.
他の奴らはもうみんな動けんぞ。一人で来いアルル。お前に新しい世界を見せてやろう。
By the way, you know, there's that little section where Draco and Owl speak at the same time.
Yep.
Owl says Satan, and Draco says Shinsain, I believe, which I looked it up, and it means judge. She thinks that Satan is the beauty contest judge.
Yeah, I think I remember that from the translation.
Yeah. Anyway, this stage is fun. Satan killed me 5 times because the gimmick of his stage is screen wrap, which was a fun time to watch Subby figure out in real time. I love a yellow.
It was very confusing.
Ooh, I'm yawning.
So I gotta try to get through all my thoughts now.
Yeah.
One, you think that those gaps in Rilu's things are like pockets in a way? Maybe.
Why not?
Ah, yes, that's where she puts her phone. That's a reference no one's gonna get.
Did Sam use Watashi in that cutscene?
I'm not sure. I only heard him say Omayatachi, which means all of you. It's
Okay,
the
it was probably
plural
that.
you of Omae.
Oh god, I'm about to run out of time. The boy is here, I love him, and I love all of his animations and his dead hypnotized eyes.
Yes.
Nerd.
ここは。
サタン、カー君をどこやったの？
アルルか。なぜこんなところにいるのだ。
なぜって君がカー君を連れてったからだよ。
アルル、何を言ってるんだ。 この私がカーバンクルちゃんを無理やりさらうような真似をするわけがないだろう。
何よ、とぼける気？
知らんものは知らん。
そいつは何も知らないよ。よく来たね、アルル。でももう遅いよ。カーバンクルは僕のものだから。誰のの？君、どこにいるの？ここだよ、アルル。君はピエロじゃないか。なぜ君がカー君を？カー君を返してよ。ダメだね。せっかくサタンが連れてきたんだから。だったら力ずくでも取り返すからね。さーて、できるかな？僕に勝つということがどういうことか教えてあげるよ。え？僕がもう一人？行くよ。
So I really love Satan's voice in this game, especially when he starts sounding super gentle.
I like it when he starts sounding super desperate. Which is a fun sentence. Okay, this is Stage's gimmick. Drops hard Puyo. You have to get down to the point Puyo down the bottom. And
the gimmick is out of every gimmick.
Yes, it's also every gimmick. So you have point multipliers higher up. You have the Puyo do slow fall. It has screen wrap. And Doppelganger Isle's gimmick is that once you get to the point Puyo, she puts up free shields.
Yep.
So you have to wait her out for no reason, because I honestly don't know how you would die after you already, you know.
Extra stress.
Yeah.
So, shall I rant?
Go ahead.
Sure.
So, for the longest frickin' time, I was told that Puyo has the best story ever. I was told, so this and the PC98 ports of Madao Monogatari were sold to me as what the Puyo franchise used to be under Compile. And, like, Puyo has lore. It does have a lot of lore, but it was sold to me like there was so much dark, serious story that's so complicated and tragic, and the Puyo game was the best written thing ever. The PC98 port is not the original Madao Monogatari. It was not what they wanted to make. They made an original version on the MSX2, which is chibi, cutesy, and not serious. And the actual text of the PC98 ports, as I've been told, is also not serious. Things like Shezo getting his head cut off is treated like a joke. And even O doesn't really care. And this game... So here's a fun thing. There's this novel called Shin Madao, and for some stupid fuck-off reason, everybody in the Western fandom decided that Shin Madao is super canon, the most canon part of the continuity. The timeline features is canon, everything it references is canon, except for the part where it retcons Madao 2. The only game it's connected to proceeds to retcon that. The writer of the novel included games that he had pitched and gotten rejected. The entire novel is full of his rejected concepts, full of games and other novels that he never published, that are not available anywhere and do not exist. And the Game Boy Color port of Puyo had this idea pitched where it was going to connect back to Shin Madao, and it's convoluted plot lines. Like, I love the ideas that it puts forward, but I hate everything about it. And the idea was that Doppelganger Arl was half of Arl's soul, and Satan was going to be more malicious and trying to put the Arls together and actively stealing Carbuncle to use Carbuncle's gem, which I'm pretty sure would kill Carbuncle, and is not something that Satan would do. And basically it's this whole tragic thing of Doppelganger Arl was, basically Arl killed God and her soul split into two. That was going to be a very bad misspeak. And the entire world was erased and had to be remade, and Satan only found one half of Arl's soul. And if you've been in the Puyo fandom a lot, if you've been like reading fanfic and stuff, this probably sounds very familiar. And, you know, Doppelganger Arl is that half of her soul. It's not canon. That is not in this game. That is not part of this story. Doppelganger Arl is just here. The idea that was pitched was rejected for being too dark and serious because the people at Compile very, 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 very consistently never want to do a dark and serious story. They want to do comedic ones, which is fine. It's great. I like comedic stories. I like lighthearted things. I like the episodic takes when I'm taking it, you know, as episodic and recognizing that the games aren't necessarily going to affect each other because that's how they were written. But that was not what I was told. What I was told, what I kept getting corrected on, what people praise as the best writing ever in the series, and Sega is ruining Puyo Puyo and killing it dead. Bunch of bullshit. This game has no fucking story. It's just Arl being angry for multiple stages, and then Arl wakes up at the end, and nothing of value was lost or gained. And when the translation came out, and indeed, this game has no fucking story, nobody talked about it, nobody acknowledged the misinformation, and to this day, people that still are fans, Compile, still don't acknowledge the fact that Compile didn't have a fucking story to tell. We get more information and it's like it just doesn't exist.
But hey, we're finally killing Doppelganger Arl / Piero. I got Galaxy Puyos on her because I got both of the coins. Point Puyo.
Nice. My rant lasted that entire fight.
That entire fight was very long.
My rant was very long. One thing I tell people consistently is that for me, the Madao / Puyo franchise under Compile, basically the same kind of vibes as a 90s anime, like early Pokemon, early Sailor Moon, that kind of thing, where differing writers would cute Carbuncle. Different writers would bring on differing things, and if continuity did happen, that was just, you know, a perk of that particular writer. That was something that was like the cherry on top of a good episode, not necessarily something you would be looking out for.
Yeah, wasn't it said that Compile was like a doujin circle, as in like somewhere where multiple authors would each self-publish their own stories?
Yeah, something like that. Basically, as we found out, there's definitely a lot of fan interactivity for Compile, which on one hand is really good. On the other hand, it also creates things like you go from Madao Monogatari 123, where Shezo is an antagonist, then you get Puyo Puyo and Madao ARS, which Puyo Puyo at the time didn't really have a placing chronologically, and ARS was a prequel. And then the next Madao Monogatari game is Final Chaotic Exam, where Shezo suddenly goes from an antagonist willing to murder Arl to willing to die for him, and Arl and Tsuru in return are willing to murder for him. And obviously stuff would happen in between that, but in the, like, outside part of things, the reason why that happened is because fans were really into having Shezo being friendlier and hanging around the other characters. And Compal was like, that's a good idea, and they did it. So, a lot of people act like Compal had this huge plan. They didn't. They
as
just
much as I like
created...
friendly Shezo, I also like continuity.
Yes. Oda, which was the writer of Shin Madao and a couple of the games, did shove like one game in between them, like Rilu's Spring Break Abyss, which, from what I've heard, I'm not excited for that for a very personal reason. And then everything else was his own fictional novels and events that don't exist.
And that kind of stuff would have been fine back when Mado was, like, at the start of Compal's whole Dojin thing. But by the time that Mado Monogatari and Puyo Puyo actually got pretty popular, and fans were expecting continuity, it's kind of, you know...
Yeah. A whole other thing about Compal's writing, they didn't really want a timeline. From my understanding, having a timeline was, you know, a monetary decision for new fans that would be interested in that. And apparently, the older fan base was pretty freaking upset about it, and I can't blame them. You try to... We've been trying to put together an actual fucking timeline of these games. It's really hard, especially when you actually go into the games and they contradict each other often.
Yeah.
I love this image.
Should we give an example?
I could rant about Lilith. I can make a lot of people very angry right now.
We only have around 2 minutes left, I'm sorry.
Basically, I don't like Lilith as a concept. It's kind of neat that Satan would have an ex-wife and, you know, trauma, but I hate the fact that she looks like Arl and basically makes the entirety of Madao 2 that doesn't feature Shezo completely pointless and superfluous. I hate the fact that it renders his attachment to Carbuncle into basically nothing. It's just, oh, he likes this one person a whole freaking lot, and that's just his existence. So I don't like Lilith.
Yeah.
She's also never referenced in any game except for the one. So I don't think she's actually canon to the whole series. She is if you accept her, but not if you don't.
Speaking of continuity with Carbuncle and Satan, the first game to be made was Mado 2, yeah?
Technically speaking, it was released prematurely as a year before as a demo, which had a couple of differences from the official game. But technically speaking, the first actual game was all 3 games at Monogatari 1, 2, 3, because it was just sold together as a whole thing.
Yeah.
Like a scenario picker.
I was gonna bring up a thing. I think it's Big Kindergarten Kids, yeah? Where Arl meets Satan for the first time in the timeline, despite them saying that the first time was Mado 2.
Yeah, I can't stand Big Kindergarten Kids. It does a lot. It does a lot of things I like. It does a lot of things where I just took that and made that my headcanon, and it does a lot of things I hate, including being very contradictory to other games. It's so weird. It's really weird. Like, Madara Monogatari 1, 2, 3 has decent continuity with each other, except for the fact that Mado 1 has a whole ass ending that never gets referenced again.
This is the end
But
of the
every
video,
other
by the
game
way.
just right. Every other game is just very contradictory to everything else. I spent the entire last portion of this video ranting.
Nice.
Yeah, well, you know, rants of fun.
Yeah. Also, it was a long time coming.
Can't wait for everyone to find out our opinions about Mado Monogatari.
Yeah.
And with that, we end the video. Thank you for watching.
Yeah. Bye.
Goodbye.